by that. We see that people are trying to fix it, though. Don't we? Don't we see
we
like
do see
either
it.
commercials or people like that are working their hardest to try to fix this part of society, the poverty side.
And we see people, but
But
they're
it's
not
just-
really advertised.
But they're like
much.
the problem is that they are trying, but they're not getting support from so much the government. See, they're their own private organization that they obviously people
and
came together.
they can only go so far.
People can only go so far. They're gonna need thousands of people to be helping nationwide, probably tens of thousands, just to deal with it. Because you need to find the people jobs. You need to find out why they're in poverty. You need to find out if they have a family, how many people are with them, if they have children, if they have a wife, if they have a husband. It depends on how much they need help and how much they don't need help. Some people can be.
Did we talk about the Sports Authority field in the last stream, or
Yeah.
was it
Yes,
after?
we talked about the Sports Authority field
Okay.
last stream.
So if you don't know what we're talking about, I would suggest you guys go listening back to our last
I wouldn't go
podcast.
listen to it.
But I mean,
My quality is bad, but you can understand what we are discussing.
Yeah,
but I mean,
I'll recap a little bit. So the Sports Authority Field Initiative, I'm calling it. So what it was basically turning the whole Sports Authority Field, because it is huge, and it can take more than Colorado's population of homeless people, or just people who can't afford a home or something like that nature, and put them in Sports Authority Field and have its own sustained mini society inside of Denver. So hire people to teach them how to do different jobs, help them get back on their feet and back into the world.
Okay, so that was a little bit of a recap. But let's get back on track with what you're saying. What is wrong with the society today? Like,
Care.
exactly. So, if you didn't hear Sammy say it again,
They don't care.
so they don't care. As he says, they don't care. Who doesn't care?
The government.
that's
basically,
just-
that's a little bit too specified. I would say more the people as, I guess you could say general people, but there is some people that obviously care. They made the organizations to do it, but obviously we see big obviously important people, like Sammy says, the government, or maybe
they got the money. They don't have to worry about it.
But does the government technically have the money?
No,
To do it.
because we are like $7 billion in debt.
Okay,
more than that.
let's just
But let's
drive away from that.
Let's
Let's
not
drive away
side
from
track to that. We're not focused on that.
So we will go back to bad luck in a second. Let's jump to when we were younger, actually. So when we were younger, did we ever encounter situations with, or in our smallest of memories, encounter situations that were bad luck to ourselves or to people around us, or maybe family members denying money to be given to a person on the street, or stuff like that? Did we ever see that as children?
Oh, yeah.
And did,
I was told as a young child to like specifically look at homeless people's shoes, because if they have nice shoes, they're not homeless; they're just beggars.
okay, so when I was a couple years ago, I went to New Orleans, and there's these people that would go around, and they would walk up to you and say, I know where you got your shoes, and if I know where you got your shoes, you owe me $2. And then me being out of state, I was like, I doubt it. And so he came up, he said those words. He said, I know where you got your shoes, and if I get the right place, correct,
You give me $2.
you give me $2. And I said,
Walmart.
you're going to get it wrong because I'm out of state. I said this to him even though he didn't understand. So he didn't realize me being out of state that he was going to get it wrong. So he said New Orleans. And I was like, you're wrong. And he considered that as a threat. So at that moment, for some reason, he decided.
Wait. What? He's like, yeah, you got it wrong, my boy. Time to fight.
Yeah,
Take off your
basically.
shoes. Let's go.
Yeah.
Did he say let's go bodies, let's fight?
No. So what he did was he was like, "What? I'd never get it wrong," and he started getting aggravated. And so another thing he would do is he would act like he would clean your shoes for you. So he bent down.
Is he like? Is he
shine.
following you around?
Yeah. So literally, the pier down there. We just went down there just to look at the Mississippi River and look out and see how massive it is. And there they were. They didn't have anything better to do, or they couldn't do anything better to do because they were not taught. But he came up and he wanted his $2. In the end, he bent down and he tried to clean my shoe because that's another thing he would do. He would clean people's shoes for the amount of money. And so he bent down, poured cleaning oil on my shoe, and was like, now you pay me the $2 because or $4 because one, I got the thing right, and I was like, no, you did not, and two, I poured expensive oil.
Well, why would you do that?
At that point, I've been like, yo, you just put oil on my shoes. I'm like, yo, no. And then I was just like, no, you don't get nothing. If
So-
anything, you owe me money for my ruined shoes now.
And so, and like the shoes he poured it on, they were like cotton based, and so they just went straight into the shoe. They didn't even, like, they weren't like Converse or something. It went straight into the shoe. And like we see nowadays, people trying to do stuff like that are trying to gain money off of people by doing favors for them or doing small things for them. That was my own experience for when I was a little bit younger. But yeah, so what is an experience from your guys' perspective of being young and having poverty things happen to you? Whether it's your own personal lives or if it's more of a third person perspective, watching something go down or something like that.
Well, like, I was about, I think, 5. One of my uncles from Wyoming, he had come down and come see us. I'm like, oh, okay. He's pretty nice. Me and my 5-year-old self. And he comes down in this, like, pedophile-looking van. You know the ones I'm talking about. The blacked-out windows, curtains over the back windows, like, an like, white. Just
It's a sketchy van.
sketchy, really, really sketchy van.
Okay.
And so he pulls up in the driveway. I'm like, oh,
My
it's my uncle.
He's here.
But it didn't look like my uncle. I mean, I knew it was my uncle, but it didn't look like my uncle. His hair was like all greasy. His eyes were super baggy. He was super pale, super skinny. And I knew something was wrong. I'm like, Mom, is he sick? And my mom was like, no, we're not opening the door. We're not doing anything. We're not home. He was clearly on drugs. That I know now. And so my mom's like, no, we're just gonna wait for him to go away. He's clearly on drugs, and he doesn't need to be here.
Okay, so that is your own personal perspective of having poverty or bad luck.
Well, yeah, because he wanted money.
Yeah,
It's like, no.
so we can infer that he wanted money. So having problems with family and having problems with money side of family, have you ever, Pedro, ever had maybe family members or people around you, not even family members, but just people in general, come up to you and ask you for money?
Ask me for money.
Well, yeah, like Sammy. PJ, can I have $5?
actually-
How about at school? Does someone at school ask you for money?
Oh yeah, all the damn time.
Pedro?
Me? No. I don't have any money to spare, to be honest with you. I'm in the level of poverty as well, but
PJ doesn't have a job.
I don't. That's one
why.
thing. I don't have a job. Two, I just don't have any money. But I usually don't get asked that. ever.
Okay.
I haven't been
People
at.
know you don't have a job. Like, people know me and Josiah have a job, and like,
They try to freeload off of you, but
yeah.
but in general, like if it was like homeless people that didn't know if I had a job or not. Obviously, I look like I'm
Yeah.
rich enough to have money on
With
me.
your
at
gold
least.
chain around your neck.
Okay, that was a gift. This is a
I'm
gift.
joking. I'm joking.
But
From my Uncle Nico, eh?
But anyways, I haven't been asked that, but there is an experience that I can share that was poverty. This was back, I believe, this is back when the Mexico and the United States with more favorable relations. But we went to go visit my grandma, and she obviously hasn't gone to the States.
Abuela, abuela.
But anyways, this maybe like 5 or 6. I don't remember, but it was a very long time ago. My grandma lived very far south. I can tell very far south because if I remember correctly, she was literally in the jungle with oxes just roaming around like it was nothing.
She's like Azteca.
But we had to take a bus. It wasn't even a bus. It was a truck. It was like a farm truck that was on a dirt road that led up. Obviously, it led to a mountain. We had to walk up the mountain, and my grandma lived in a concrete hut. I wouldn't even say it's a concrete hut because it's literally made out of cinder blocks, and that's probably it. She had TV, but this TV was so retro that I'm pretty sure you could get a better one for cheaper than what she had. She didn't really have anything. She didn't have a dishwasher. She didn't have a laundromat. She didn't have a dryer. She had to wash her clothes outside. She had no fresh water. She had barely any food at all. I don't know how she survived out there by herself, because now she's about 80-something years old. She's like 70s over there when the last time we went to Mexico. But the thing she had for food was a tree that grew fruit that she ate from, and then any money that she had, she obviously went to the store and bought maybe some rice or some beans, or maybe got some cane from the cane fields, because there was cane fields nearby that she could probably eat from. But she was in severe poverty, and she had a bed, but that bed was like probably gotten from some, I don't know, from like some trash or somewhere. But I don't know how bad it was back then as a child, but now I understand that she's in a bad spot, and that's why we brought her back to the States, so my mom can take care of her, so we can obviously take care of her so she doesn't have to get food for herself.
So,